Already. There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour Yoga on Friday. A little bit delayed, I think, at best, but definitely trying to bring it to the level. A little technical difficulties today because it is a Friday. It is the end of the week. So, of course, we're going to have technical difficulties. Why not? Because every time we decide to upgrade or change, life presents us with challenges. And that's part of the reason that we come to the mat. Part of the reason that we practice yoga and meditation every day is to have this opportunity to be challenged and to grow and to learn and grow from that experience. And that all of our challenges are places where we need to get better. So for me, going through the process of coming online, yay, and wanting to help people and wanting to be more present for people means that I have to up my technology game. And so for my very many friends out there who've been helping me right along, I am very appreciative. Definitely looking forward to other upgrades as we go in video technology and streaming technology and who knows, whatever else I find, whatever else all of you help suggest for me. So grateful for all of your help as always. Going to do a class today to really move energy because on days when we are really challenged, it's always better to move the energy, keep letting it go. Do not let it sit someplace in the body and help yourself move forward. So today we'll be doing a lot of movement, a little bit more of a flow pace than a meditative pace, and do a little bit of hip opening because sitting down doing all this work definitely tends to pool a lot of energy in that hip area. So if you could first take the time to come into a comfortable seated meditative position, let's definitely open up the class today with our intention. So when you are ready, sit bones on the ground or on your blanket, whatever is most comfortable for you. We're going to go ahead and close our eyes and start to breathe in and out through the nose. Just feel that breath as it moves into the body through the nose, past the throat, into the lungs, and then as it begins to move out of the body in that reversed process. And notice that as we do move that, allow this feeling of breath, this movement of energy and air in and out of the body to bring you more present within yourselves. As our eyes are closed, we're disconnecting from the external stimulus of seeing and processing color and light and data. And just check in with yourself to see where you are. For a lot of us, it's been a long week. For some of us, I think we blinked and the wink went by. There's a holiday coming up for some of us. Some of us already had a holiday. So just lots of comings and goings to be aware of. And for this moment, let's just let them fall out of the mind for a brief period of time. And as we continue to breathe and come into ourselves, let's set our intention. For our practice today is from the ability to lead us from what we don't understand to what we do about our lives and about our current worlds, from what is real inside of us to what is not real, what is beyond our control. And from a time bound state of consciousness to a timeless state of being. For we know that time will continue to pass and we will continue to move forward. And although change is never ending, we are still present in the reality of who we are. So when you're ready, go ahead and slowly open the eyes as you become present here on the mat. Let's get up for our 4-part warm-up inhalation breath. which is definitely going to be necessary for all of the movement of today. Bringing our feet together and then hip width apart on the mat, whatever that is best for you. You're going to inhale in and exhale out. And as you do so, press into the feet, rise up through the sternum and then through the crown of the head. Just set that posture for the day. And when you're ready, we're going to do a 4-part warm-up breath. It's a 3-part inhalation with arm movement and a forceful exhalation through the mouth with another arm movement. The beginning is going to look like this. We're going to breathe in 1/3, palms facing one another. Breathe in the 2nd third, palms out to the side. Breathing in the last third, palms up overhead. And the last part, forcefully exhaling through the mouth. The arms are going to come swinging forward, torso swinging forward, knees bent, arms swinging back and coming up for the next breath. So when you are ready, we're going to go ahead and start. Breathing up, out, up, and down. Breathing up, out, up, and down. And the last one, up and down, and start to roll up slowly on this one. Closing our eyes as soon as it becomes available. Let's just become aware of our breath, aware of its movement throughout the body, becoming ever more present. And when you're ready, we're going to open up our eyes for one more round of 7 this time. Breathing up, out, up, and down. 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 Last one. Out, up, and down. And slowly just come up. Close your eyes and sink in. To appreciate some of that first movement in our practice today. When you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes. We are going to start today off with some sun salutations to warm up. So if you can go ahead and come to the top of the mat, as I have here, we're going to take the time to bring our feet together, pressing down into the ground. We're going to rise up through the sternum, up through the crown of the head. We're going to bring the hands together into a prayer position before the heart. And inhale the hands up overhead. And as we do so, pressing down into the feet, exhale, drop the tailbone firm to the buttocks and the thighs. Extend the hips forward as the body comes into a slight back bend. Enjoying this first movement of the day. If this is your first practice, as you exhale, bring the hands forward and down as we bring the torso forward and down, bending over into forward fold. If your hands can reach, thumbs next to little toes. If not today, go ahead and rest your hands wherever it is most comfortable for you. That might be your shins or ankles, relaxing the crown of the head towards the mat. And on the next inhale, we're going to go ahead and take a big step back with the right foot this time, pressing back through that right heel, extending forward through the sternum. On the next inhale, bringing the left foot back, coming into a plank, tight, level body, engaging through the abdomen, the glutes, the quads, pressing out through the rear heels, extending forward through the crown of the head. And then next inhale, we're going to bring the knees down, tilt the hips up towards the ceiling, tailbone extending up, bringing the chest forward and down, coming in, inhaling up into an upward dog, hips off the ground this time. Shoulders are away from the ears. And as we exhale, we're going to come down, press up into downward dog. Really gripping into that mat with your fingers, taking the weight off of your wrists, extending up through the shoulders, out through the hip creases. As the heels come closer to the ground, if this is your first downward dog of the day, go ahead, bicycle it out, bend one knee, then the other, jog it out a little bit. Breathing. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the left foot forward this time, coming back into a lunge, extending out through that rear heel, looking up forward through the sternum. On the next inhale, we're going to push off with the back foot, coming back into a forward fold. Hands or thumbs next to little toes or on your shins. Pressing into those feet, rising up through the tailbone. Relaxing the head. Then go ahead and inhale the hands together. Inhale the hands up through the center of the body as the hands come up overhead, gazing at the palms. Dropping the tailbone, firming through the buttocks and inner thighs, pressing the hips forward, slight back bend. As we exhale, bring the hands forward and down. Bring the torso forward and down, coming back into a forward fold. And this time, if it is available to you, either step or hop back into plank or knee down plank, whatever might be available to you in your practice. And we are going to do a chaturanga. So for all of you who can do a push-up in either full plank or not, elbows are in and aligned next to the body. And you're going to come all the way down. Inhale up into upward dog. And as we exhale, rolling over the toes, coming into downward dog. Oh, it feels so yummy today. Moving all of that energy, really pushing up through those hip creases, making sure that head and neck are completely relaxed. And on the next inhale, we're going to go ahead and raise the right leg, toes pointed down, hips are square, don't open up on me. Hips are nice and square, raising that leg as the left heel comes closer down towards the floor. And now we're going to tilt the hips open, bend the right knee, open up that body. And then as we inhale, we're going to go ahead and straighten that leg, bringing the hips down to square. We're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow as we come forward and back, toes pointing down. Bringing the right knee to the left elbow, coming back, toes pointed down. Bringing the right knee in towards the forehead, holding, and bringing it back. And then bringing the right foot between the hands, and if you're like me and you need to help it, all the way forward, coming back into a lunge. I do enjoy this particular part. You're going to go ahead and bring the left knee down. And we're going to bring the right foot on the outside of the right hand this time. And we're going to go ahead and come down if you can, bringing onto your forearms. If not, and you need a block, go ahead. But we are going to be opening up the hips, this part of the hamstrings in here, making sure the hips are square. You don't want to tilt your pelvis out in any way. You can let your foot roll so that you're on the outside of the right side of the foot if it's available to you. But definitely making sure that you're dropped down. If you want, you can raise up the leg if you'd like to. But I really like to get a nice opening in my hip flexors and the deeper part of my right hip. So I prefer to put my knee down on the ground. Keeping our eyes open, breathing into this. And when you're ready, you can go ahead, come back up. We're going to wiggle that right foot back in. I'm going to come back up into a lunge. We're going to push off our left foot, coming back into a forward fold. Slowly bringing the hands together into a prayer position, rising the hands up through the center of the body, coming up overhead, dropping the tailbone, firming through the buttocks and inner thighs, pressing those hips forward into a slight back bend, a nice reverse of our last position. And again, exhaling and bringing the hands and torso forward and down. Coming back into forward fold. Again, being able to jump or hop or step back into a plank position. Body is nice and tight, shoulders and wrists are in alignment. And chaturanga, go ahead and come all the way down. Inhale upward into upward dog. Exhale, rolling over those toes, coming into a downward dog. Taking a moment to just breathe, really gripping into the mat with the fingers, not the wrists. And on your next inhale, we're going to raise the left leg up this time, starting with toes facing down, really enjoying that pressure down on the right foot as the heel comes closer to the mat. And then go ahead and open up the hips, stack the hips, bend the left knee, and open up that side of the body. And then inhale, straightening the left foot, toes pointed down. This time, inhale and exhale, bring the left knee to the left elbow. Hold and back, toes face down. Bring the left knee to the right elbow. Hold and bring it back, toes facing down. Go ahead and bring the knee to the forehead. Hold. Bring it back to toes facing down. And then in the next inhale, we're going to bring the left foot forward this time. Enjoying that nice lunge, pressing back through that rear heel. And we're going to drop the right knee. You're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the left palm. And again, on this side, if you want to roll the leg out onto the outer part of the left foot, opening up these hips today, taking some time to enjoy that opening in the hip flexors and the deeper parts of your hips. Breathing, being present. And on your next inhale, go ahead and come up. Bring the left foot forward, coming back up into the lunge. Lifting off that back leg, coming back into a forward fold. Inhaling the arms together, palms coming up through the center of the body. Palms coming up overhead. Pressing into the feet, rising up through the arms. Bringing the hands down. Wiggling out whatever you might need to as we prepare for our next posture. And we are going to come into the middle of your mat if it's available to you. And since I'm teaching, I'm going to stand here so you can watch. We're going to go into Tadasana and then into the half moon poses. They kind of warm up and continue to move the spine. So feet together if it's available to you or as close as you can get them. Pressing into the feet, rising up through the sternum, up through the crown of the head. As we inhale, we're going to inhale the palms together, bring them up overhead, bringing the fingers into Temple Mudra. As we start to actively press down into all points on the feet, engage the calves and shins, engage the knees and quads, tightening across the glutes, tightening across the abdomen, tightening across the shoulders, all the way up into the hands. And as you breathe, bringing that energy throughout all of your body. And as you exhale again, relax. As you inhale, press the hips out to the left as the body comes over to the right, making sure that the hips are square to each other. What does that mean? It means that when you stand here, look, I'm not pushing the hip this way, I'm not pressing the hip this way. They're very flat to each other. So go ahead and pressing out actively, pressing into that left foot, out with the left heel, up through the left shoulder, and then out, getting that lovely stretch through the back. To release, inhale, coming up, exhale, press the right hips out this side as we come over to the left. Again, making sure the hips are nice and square, actively pressing into the right foot, out through the right heel, up through the right shoulder, and then over to the side. Inhaling, coming back up. And this time we're dropping the tailbone, firming through the buttocks and the thighs as we come into back bend. So exhaling, pressing the hips forward, coming back, keeping the head in line with the spine, making sure you're rising up through the sternum first and then back through the hands. Inhaling, coming up, separating the hands. We're going to drop the arms down to shoulder height. And we're going to start to bend the torso forward. You're going to bend the knees so the abdomen comes to rest on the thighs. Taking your hands, wrapping them around the back of our legs, letting them slide down to our ankles if that's available to you, as we try to bring our elbows closer together behind us, relaxing the crown of the head, and allowing yourself to press into the feet and slowly lift the tailbone only up, so long as the abdomen stays on the thighs. To release this pose, release the hands out in front, press into the feet, and slowly rise on up. Go ahead and wiggle that out if you need to. We're going to go right into a standing posture today, and then we're going to go down to doing some seated floor hip openings before we close out our practice today. Just a shorter happy hour practice today, since it's been such an energetic week. Sometimes it's nice to have just a uncomplicated practice sometimes. There we go. So we're going to come to a standing position on the mat. Now we find great strength in our standing postures. And one of the ways that we do that is through picking a really intense drishti point. So picking something in front of you that is not me, that does not move. We're going to come to our feet together and taking the time to press into the feet, rise up through the sternum, rise up through the crown of the head. As we press into the left foot, shift the weight into the left side of the body. We're going to go ahead and bend the right knee and turn the knee out so that the right heel is on top of the left ankle. Gazing intensely at the drishti point, you can go ahead and inhale, lift up the right foot to either on the inside of the calf area, above the knee on the inside of the thigh area, or if you'd like to, you can do half lotus. Whatever you choose to do today, do not press your foot into your knee, that'll cause injury. But go ahead and press the right heel into the left leg as you press the knee down and back to kind of help clarify that standing position. And the next move, you can go ahead and inhale the hands into a prayer position before the heart. And then again, inhale the hands up overhead into a temple mudra today. Breathing, intensely gazing at your drishti point, and pressing and releasing into the body. To release this, release the hands down back into prayer. Release the palms, release the feet. Wiggle it out, jiggle it out. And as we get ready for our next side, again, fixating on your drishti point, we're going to press into the right foot this time and shift the weight into the right side of the body as you bend the left knee and turn the knee out, keeping the left ankle above the right. On the next inhale, you can inhale the left foot up either on the inside of the shins, on the inside of the thigh, or into a half lotus pose. Again, not on the knee, but press the right heel into the left standing leg as you press the left knee down and slightly back to help clarify your position. And we're going to go ahead and inhale the palms together into a prayer position before the heart. As we inhale again, the hands up overhead into a temple mudra. Breathing, gazing intently at your drishti point is a lot of focus and strength, more than you can think, which when we need clarity in a moment, having the ability to focus intently is very useful. To release the hands, release the foot, wiggle it out, jiggle it out, whatever might be best for you. And we're going to start to come down into a seated posture. a seated posture, sorry for that, on the mat. We're going to do some hip opening exercises before we go ahead and wrap up for the day, a short practice this happy hour. So as we come into a seated position on the mat, we're going to start by bringing our feet together so that the insteps of the feet are facing up. You're going to take your hands, you're going to wrap them around the feet so the thumbs are on the instep of the feet. You're going to go ahead and use your elbows to press into your inner thighs or knees, wherever it becomes available to you, as you use your hands to almost peel the insteps of your feet apart. And you're going to come down as if your sternum is coming down towards your toes. So to start pressing into the sits bones, rising up through the crown of the head, as we bend forward, however far that might be for you, using the elbows to really press open those hips as we try to bring the sternum down to our toes. Breathing into this. To release, go ahead and come back up. Relax the legs. Go ahead and wiggle them out if you need to. And so for our first intense hip opening, take the time with each of these postures because they do become a bit intense when we release tension in the hips. If you need blocks, blankets, if you need to adjust the movement in any way to preserve whatever knee or ankle issues you might have, I welcome you to do so. And you can always contact me if you'd like to learn how to do these postures one-on-one. I'd be more than happy to help you. But with that stated, we're going to take the feet, putting them feet down on the mat here in front of us. You're going to take the left leg and you're going to cross it underneath the right, bent as it is just in front of you. And we're going to take the right foot on the opposite side of the left knee. And we're going to go, and instead of using this to go into a twist, you're going to keep the right hand on the right foot, which is on the bottom, or on the left foot, sorry. We're going to take the left hand on the right foot, and you're going to go ahead and bring it over as far as you can. Now, if all you can do is this, before you feel it, either your left or right hip, if all you can do is this, then trust me, just stay where you're at. It's okay. But whatever you do, make sure you keep both of your sits bones on the mat. So what you're going to do at this point, hands on both feet. So you're going to go ahead and press into the sits bones. Sit straight up. And as you inhale and exhale, we're going to bring the torso slightly forward and down. Notice that every little movement that we make here, even though I might not look like I'm moving all that much, is really opening up the deeper parts of our hips. The challenging part here is to breathe and keep your eyes open. Go ahead and fixate on something in front of you if you need to, but allow whatever you're feeling, the intensity, wherever it might take you, whether it be a fear or an anger or a sadness, whatever it is, keep both hips on the ground and just slowly be here. If you need to come out a little bit, come up a little bit. There's nothing that says you have to go further or cross your legs deeper. To release, bring the body up to a straight point. Use your hands to unwind your legs. Don't use your legs too much on their own quite yet. And go ahead and just butterfly the legs, or if you want to do one side and the other, whatever is best for you. But coming back to both feet flat on the mat as we prepare for the other side. This time we're going to take the right foot. I'm going to bring it underneath the left so that it is facing down here. Putting our left hand on the right foot. You're going to take the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Now, one side is going to be tighter than the other. And for me, that is my left side. So for all of you who are not as flexible, you can kind of get an idea about what it is to have a tighter hip on the other side. But both of my sits bones are square on the mat, which makes a huge difference. So I'm going to press into my sits bones, rise up through my sternum, through the crown of my head. I'm going to move my hand up to my ankles a little bit because it can't go down that far. And as I inhale and exhale, I'm going to bring my sternum forward and down. There we go. I got a little bit of extra movement there. And I'm just going to sit here because this is my edge. And I'm going to release into all of the sensations that are coming up and out of my hips right now. Breathing, staying focused in your breath. And again, when you are ready, go ahead and inhale the body up slowly. Use the hands to unwind the legs. Go ahead and butterfly those out. Wiggles and giggles. We're going to do one more stretch in the middle before we go into our next hip opener. So we're going to bring both of our legs out in front of us, engaging the toes back towards the body, making sure those sit bones are flat on the mat. We're going to go ahead and engage through the inner thighs here as we try and bring those toes closer back to us, pressing into the sits bones, rising up through the crown of the head. Then we're going to slowly inhale the arms up to shoulder height, palms facing one another. Inhaling again, bringing the arms up overhead, arms alongside the ears, slightly back. Bringing the navel into the lower back ever so slightly. And on the next exhale, bringing the torso forward and down. Trying not to round out that back, keep them nice and straight. Bringing the arms down to the legs wherever they might fall today. And just allow yourself to breathe into this. Don't pull. Just allow yourself to be present here. And when you're ready, let the head just come down as if the chin is trying to touch your sternum. Your forehead is coming closer to your knees. Just open up that back, the top of the hip area. Breathing. To release the pose, slowly bring the arms up alongside the head, body up straight, reach for the ceiling, and bring the arms down. Go ahead and wiggle out the legs if you need to. Again, we're going to come and get ready for our next hip opener. So we're going to bring our feet back to flat on the mat in front of us, making sure that our sits bones are nice and square on the floor. We're going to start with the left side again. We're going to take the left foot and you're going to bring it to parallel with the mat edge that's in front of you. So if you're sitting like me or if you're sitting at the top of the mat, but not tucked in next to you, right? We definitely want it out and available in front of you. And then we're going to take the right foot and you're going to either bring it to a place where you can get it where it would normally go on top of the left knee. So if it's out here or if it's out here before you have no flexibility, take your time to really listen to your body in this one. So at this point, we're going to take our hands and we're going to put them down by our sides to kind of help us stand up straighter with a nice straight spine. Now you can see how tight my hips are because my knee, my ankle, they don't really line up that well. So I do this one often in order to help open up and release tension in deeper hips. So again, as we press into the sits bones, rising up through the sternum, rising up through the crown of the head. Again, we're going to bring the sternum as if it's coming down towards my legs. Now you can use your hands to slightly support you, taking your very, very slow time, coming forward until you find that edge where you can no longer come forward any longer. And just take a moment to breathe here. Find a drishti point to focus on and allow yourself to become familiar and aware with everything that is coming from you as your eyes are open, as you're feeling these intense sensations emanating from the hip areas. And when you're ready to release, you're going to inhale up slowly, using the hands to unwind the feet one at a time. And go ahead and butterfly those legs. Definitely a lot of tension in there. Definitely just taking that moment to really open them up. And now we're going to get ready for the next side. So again, planting your sits bones firmly into the mat. This time we're going to take the right foot at the parallel shore edge of your mat, whatever that may be for you. And then we're going to take the left foot and you're going to bring it around onto either the top of the right knee, which for me is just above my knee, or the floor in front of you, whatever is available to you. You can notice how much more lack of flexibility I have on this side over the other. Just, getting rid of that idea that yoga teachers are all bendy and flexy. But we're bringing our hands palms face down right next to us, going ahead and pressing into those sits bones, rising up through the sternum and the crown of the head. And we're slowly going to bring the torso forward and down as if the sternum was coming closer to our legs. Now you can see I don't have a lot of motion in this. If you do, you can go ahead and move your hands forward, just as long as you are supporting yourself, but still honoring the tension and the edges that we have as we open up our hips. finding a drishti point from which you can focus on, going ahead and allowing yourself to breathe, allow yourself to be present, to feel everything that is coming from your hip area and just witness it, taking the time to become very familiar with it. And when you're ready, you can inhale the body back up, taking the time to slowly unwind your legs with your hands. Don't just whip those legs apart. Go ahead and butterfly your thighs to go ahead and relax everything that might be going on in there. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a laying down to kind of just unwind the back and spine. So feet flat on the mat. Now go ahead and bring the hands up, palms facing down, shoulder height. Inhaling, and as you exhale, start to curl the back down onto the mat, allowing your back to straighten out. Feels good, doesn't it? We're going to bring our heels of our feet in as close to our legs as possible. We're going to do a bridge pose. So if you could go ahead and slightly press into the feet, lift the hips up part way. You can interlace your hands behind your back if that's available to you, or keep them down by the side. But if you do interlace your hands behind your back, you can roll over one shoulder and bring your arm further under and then the other. Now, as you inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips up, keeping the head flat on the mat, keeping your eyes open, relaxing the neck, going ahead, really pressing up through those hips. To release, slowly bring the back down, release the hands, bringing them alongside the body, bringing the back and hips onto the mat, pressing that lower back into the mat ever so slightly, releasing and relaxing. You can go ahead and windshield wiper your legs if you need to bring movement into the body. But when you are ready, just go ahead and bring your knees into your chest, and go ahead and bring one hand on each knee. And we're going to slowly start rolling our knees in a circle. Give our lower back a little bit of a massage, a little bit of that hip space that we were working on earlier. And then going in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Taking time to enjoy that lovely feeling. We're going to do a laying down twist at this point. So bringing our feet back flat on the mat. We're going to bring our arms out to the sides in this T position if you want, or if you're not available and you're like me and hitting the wall, you can bring your arms into a cactus position, whatever's most comfortable. But press into the feet, lift the hips up, shift the hips to the right side about 6 inches, and drop the left foot down, engaging those toes back towards the body. We're going to bring the right knee on top of the left leg. You're going to take the left hand on top of the right knee, gazing out over the right hand as we use the left hand to guide the right knee over and across the body, keeping that hip up and over, keeping the right shoulder on the mat, and breathing. To release, help the left hand guide the right knee back over the body, bringing both feet flat up on the mat, coming back to center with your hips, bringing the left hand back into cactus or T, then going ahead and pressing into the feet, raising the hips up, shipping them over to the left side about 6 inches, straightening the right leg this time, engaging the right toes, bringing the left foot on top of the right leg, using the right hand on the left knee, gazing out over the left arm this time, and using the right hand to guide the left knee over and across the body. Breathing, engaging that right leg. To release, use the right hand to guide the left leg back. Going ahead, bringing both feet into the mat, centering the body on the mat, and coming into whatever last asana of the day you might need. Or allowing yourself to come into corpse pose savasana. Allowing your hands to come palms facing up on the outside of the body, releasing the feet. And allowing yourself to lie here for the next few minutes as you slowly enjoy all of the movement, the release, and the strength that we have cultivated in our practice today. I want to thank all of you for coming to Happy Hour today. It is always my pleasure to help serve my community and to help us all become better. Thank you and have a beautiful end of the day Friday.